Dude, this is blasting cold air like the Arctic over here.
Good.
It is good.
You need that. All right. So we are recording now, and we are going to start after this jumps in. So.
Wait, what are you waiting for?
You'll see. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to BitCast episode 64 for the week of January 6th, 2018. I'm your host, Jake Martin. And in the studio this week, we got Matthew Intiman.
Hey.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
I usually say welcome, like, and we're back, but really it's welcome back.
That's right.
It's been, so first of all, for anybody that is a regular listener to the show, it's been a long time since I met you. I forget the words after that. No, it's been a long time since we've podcasted. The holidays happened, and we're preparing for this episode specifically. I tried a lot of new stuff this episode, so if you are listening on audio, I would recommend checking us out on YouTube or anywhere on the old social medias, because we are going to be talking about a lot of cool video stuff on here and showing the gameplay with it and other fun things.
This is an audio-visual experience.
Exactly.
Edition of BitCast.
So, if you are tuning in, like I said, check out the YouTube. But just so you know, today, because it is episode 64, you better bet your sweet bippy we're talking about the Nintendo 64.
It's only right.
It's only right. It only makes sense. So, really beyond that, there's no housekeeping. There's no reviews. Hold on to your butts, because we're going to be right back with the N64. And again, this is just behind-the-scenes magic. They don't know that we're still live.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right? And we're back. All right, so, Matt, you grew up in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your first system?
Let's see. First system ever was... it was kind of at the same time I got a Game Boy Color.
Oh, dang.
And then I did have an NES that my uncle gave me.
Okay.
And a Sega Genesis.
So you really had a good swath of different video game consoles growing up.
Yeah, but they were at my granddad's house, and we could only play for like an hour per day.
Well, that's good, responsible parenting, I guess.
Yeah.
Keeping y'all outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, for most people that grew up in the 90s, so we originally had the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And the N64 had just come onto the market, I think, well, according to Wikipedia's, June 23rd, 1996. But I got it way later. I think I got it late 90s because my friend was getting rid of his right before we left Memphis. And so that was the first console I actually bought with my own money. $70.
Whoa.
$70 for the N64.
Nice.
Like 6 or 7 games, 4 controllers, and the little expansion pack, that comes in there.
Are you kidding?
That's right.
That is insane.
Hell of a deal. Hell of a deal. He'd Chase, I forget his last name. He
ripped him off.
He had no idea what he was getting rid of.
How much is that worth in today's dollars?
Probably a lot. I mean, I had some solid games. I mean, all the ones you would actually want for the most part. But being a child, I also couldn't afford to buy a lot of games. So those 6 or 7 that I had, that's pretty much all I had the entire time I had the 64.
Yeah.
But we got to, we had Blockbuster back when those existed.
Yeah.
And so we rented games a lot. And that was a very significant part of growing up, is just renting those games. But as with any Nintendo, I guess, home console, they always have these cool code names that go with them. So with the Wii, it was like Project Dolphin. I'm sorry, Revolution. The GameCube was the Dolphin. And the 64, uninterestingly, was called the Project Reality Ultra 64.
Because it's so realistic. It's a perfect emulation of reality.
Yeah. But what's funny is you see here they added Ultra, but really it ended up being Super Nintendo. They like the Super Nintendo, just kind of keep that going.
Yeah. They made the Super Wii.
The Super Wii.
Also known as the Wii U.
The Ultra Wii. But yeah, just regular old Nintendo 64 is what they actually kept this one with. So I just love the idea that Nintendo and the people behind there are always thinking about how they want to code name their systems and keep them a secret. And oh, we're getting a phone call here. I need to decline that. That's probably going through our headphones too.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm gonna unplug that for right now, just so we don't get any more obscure phone calls coming in.
Huh. That was interesting.
Yeah, the old wifey. Probably need to let her know that we're podcasting right now, so you can fill some dead air if you want to.
Let's see here. Banjo Kazooie was a game on the N64, and so was Mario Party 1.
And it was good.
And it was good.
Okay. So I've kind of outlined this show to run through a few games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have you guess what you think would be the top 10 best-selling N64 games. But first, I wanted to jump into the selling numbers of the N64. So the 64 sold only 32.93 million units.
How does that compare to their other systems?
So I have these written down here, or typed down. The Wii sold 101 million units.
Wow.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
The GameCube, can you guess how many the GameCube sold?
Let's see, if the Wii sold 100, I would say the GameCube sold 50.
Oh, man. 21 million.
Oh, that is horrible.
The GameCube got blasted.
Dang.
No one bought the GameCube. No one bought it.
It's so good. It's a purple lunchbox.
I think at that time it was competing against the 360, or what would soon be the 360 and the PS2, and like people were just PS2 150 million units. So
wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
Unbelievably popular. So the GameCube did terrible,
which is really surprising because it has a fantastic lineup.
Oh, I know.
It has everything you want.
I know. And can you guess how many Wii U units were sold?
Oh no. Surely it's not worse than the GameCube.
Oh, it is.
19 million.
13.5.
Oh my
million.
gosh.
Yeah.
Which is sad because that is also a good system.
It is I wouldn't call it a good system. I would call a few of the games on that a good system. I would say the overall Wii U is not that cool. You know.
Yeah.
Because the Switch has basically just like, oh, this is what the Wii U should have been, probably.
It's true. I was one of the few people that bought a Wii U, and I guess you were too. But I mean, I liked it when I had it. But I agree that the Switch is better in pretty much every single way.
Yes. So there's the kind of the sales numbers for 64. So not really a financial success by any means. And part of this was so they had been coming off of the success of the NES and the SNES or SNES. And they were being so stringent with their cartridges that they refused to go to a disk drive and lose money because they were producing a lot of the cartridges in-house themselves and making a huge profit off of those. So they burned a lot of third-party relationships by doing that, and thus weren't getting a lot of games on it that were third-party that people wanted.
All those games were going to like the PS1.
Yep, PS1 and Sega and anything else. So the N64 or Nintendo really kind of hurt itself by being so tight about the cartridges, and thus resulted in pretty terrible sales. The GameCube, I don't know what happened with that one. It probably was just because the tiny discs, no one liked those.
Yeah. Which is funny now that they've moved back to cartridges with the Switch.
Yeah, but everyone loves the idea of cartridges now. They're like, oh, it makes so much sense. They save so much money, and like flash memory is the fastest way to access games.
It's just funny how things change because you would not trust a cartridge system like 15 years ago.
No, I still don't trust this thing. I was trying to record B-roll for this. It was a pain in the butt because I had to like keep on pulling it in and out. And you'll notice some of the B-roll on here is like, it looks like I recorded it on a screen because it's so like jittery sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. So that being said, the N64 had some amazing games, and we have I have the top 10 listed out here by units sold or number of sold, and I want you to try and guess the top 5 best-selling games for the N64, starting now.
All right, I'm gonna have to say Super Mario 64.
Nailed it.
Number 1.
With 11.89 million copies sold.
11 point.
So pretty solid
adoption rate.
Yeah, adoption right there. Yeah. Almost 1 in 3.
1 in 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm going to have to say Ocarina of Time.
No.
Is it oh gosh. Okay, well.
So Mario Kart 64 was number 2 at 9.87 million.
Okay, then Ocarina of Time?
Nope.
Hold on. Let me look at this.
What's one that you think everyone talks about still, that everyone like recognizes like, oh man, yeah, I love playing that.
I would say GoldenEye.
Yeah. Dude, that's a pretty amazing. You got that with that hint. That was not a good hint at all. But yeah.
No, it's true. There's the people that talk about Smash, and then I feel like right under Smash, people are like, "Oh,
GoldenEye.
playing GoldenEye when I was a kid was the best
Yep.
thing ever."
It's crazy. 8.09 million units sold or copies sold for GoldenEye.
That is wild.
So good branding for James Bond there. And then
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
And then after that, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Ocarina of Time sold 7.6 million.
I'm gonna have to say
This one
Smash.
You got it.
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good, man.
I almost said Pokemon Stadium, but then I remembered I hadn't said Smash yet.
Pokemon was right after that. So
Okay.
you were right. Man, great job, man. Great
Thanks,
job.
man. Thanks,
Because
man.
honestly, you would assume some of these would be higher just because of how good they actually are. Like, Zelda is 10 out of 10. Like,
Right.
everyone is like holds that to the highest degree of
Mhm.
impressive games on 64. So Super Smash Bros. 5.5 million. And then after that, Pokemon Stadium with 5.45, Donkey Kong 64, 5.27, Diddy Kong Racing, 4.8, Star Fox 64 with 4.03 million units, and lasting it out with number 10, Banjo Kazooie, 3.63. And so I put all of these developers next to it to kind of show you the partnership that Nintendo had with Rare and how much it did for them as well.
Yeah.
They still have a good number of Nintendo titles in here. I mean, a majority of them are Nintendo titles, but I mean, number 3, 007 was produced by Rare, developed by Rare. You had Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing, and Banjo Kazooie, all also by Rare. And then HAL Laboratories was like a side studio that did a lot more with Super Smash Bros., Pokemon Stadium, and a couple other ones that I actually recorded on here.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, pretty amazing. So I guess like just going back through these, let's revisit the good old game of Mario 64 that I got some footage for here. And keep in mind that recording this was not easy. And going back to some of these games, like the Banjo Kazooie footage is horrendous.
How come? Just like the gameplay?
Yeah, it's bad. So Mario 64, this game blew my mind.
Yeah.
I had never, I mean, this was the first time that we had seen Mario in 3D. And this was the first time that we really had excellent camera controls to be able to navigate a 3D space.
Yeah.
Because there had been games before this on the PC that tried it. But this was the first time with the added joystick support and the C stick or the C buttons to be able to navigate that controller. We had never seen something like this before. And I will never forget like the first time going into Princess Peach's castle and just being able to navigate that space and check out the paintings and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it really is such a special game, and I do remember the first time that I discovered the slide level.
Oh yeah.
It was so much fun doing the slide, and then also isn't the flying level when you look straight up in the castle? That blew my mind.
So many like hidden secrets in this game. Because I mean, I think with the previous Mario titles, you always had those hidden warp pipes and stuff like that. I think I was trying to do like a wall kick here. I didn't want to do the snow level, but it's there's so many hidden secrets. Like even one of those rooms that just had no paintings in it, but you could actually like I missed the painting, but you could go to like the room and there was nothing inside of it. But lo and behold, there actually was a hidden secret wall right there. And we got to see Bowser. Fully realized in 3D and got to whoop his butt a couple times. And I don't know, just outside of the castle, which already was a sandbox, every single level also felt like a sandbox where you could kind of go uncover all the secrets inside of there. And there was just so much to this game that I don't think a lot of other 3D platformers really got right. I mean, even with Donkey Kong 64 and a couple of other games that came after this, it was just everything felt a little bit worse in terms of how it performed.
Yeah, and I think as far as Mario games go too, I really enjoyed in Odyssey. It really did feel like a return to form of this kind of game where every single level is very contained and very like fully realized.
Right.
That each level is like its own little miniature world, where Galaxy was great, but it felt like a more linear experience where you're flying planet to planet. And you had some larger levels, but all in all, it felt a little bit smaller than Odyssey or this game did.
Right. Well, and I think too, just like the diversity of each level as well. Like you're talking about, like you have snow levels, lava levels, just regular ones like this, the giant world where everything's huge, and then the other one where it's like everything's really small. There's a lot of like really interesting mechanics that they got right the first time. Water levels were still kind of weak in this game.
Yeah.
But overall, Mario 64, I think, still is going to be held as like one of the people's most memorable games in 64.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially because it came like packaged with it too, So.
Mm-hmm.
I only have footage for like a few of these on this list, so I apologize. I don't have any footage for Zelda, but we could.
But you know what that looks like.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, everyone remembers what that looks like. Mario Kart 64 is the next one I want to talk about really quick, because with Mario Kart, you had so many people that this was accessible to.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to be a gamer to appreciate Mario Party. And this was huge in college, I feel like, too, where you could take it to a party and people would be playing Mario Kart, having a good time with it. Even the battle mode, I think, that was introduced really made this game a lot more interesting to people.
Yeah.
Where it was kind of like a duke 'em out, 4-player split screen, last man standing wins. And that really worked for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this game, and then also just the N64 as a system, I've been so impressed by the longevity of it.
Oh, yeah.
College especially, and then even after college, it's a timeless system. It is absolutely timeless.
Yes.
And I can foresee it continuing to go for the next, 10 years, 20 years.
Who knows? It is. I will say it's harder to go back to that controller every time I pick it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, man, this is a bad controller. There's just nothing good about this. Because even playing this right here, I was trying to just record a race. It was very difficult to drift. There's a lot of really I don't think drifting really was a first thought. I think it was an afterthought in this one where I'm like, dang, this really does not respond the way I want it to. I'm backwards right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm rusty, so it's not the game's fault. It's more or less just what I'm used to. But
yeah, I think they fixed power sliding in all the other games.
Look at this. This is hard to watch. But everyone loves Mario Kart 64, so a glad addition to anyone that has a 64. This is one that you pretty much have to own.
Yeah. All the battles. I remember Block Fort being some of the most intense 4-player battles I've ever played.
You could just camp up on top of one of the block
firing
forts
shells
and
down.
just keep shooting shells into the bottom and hope that someone gets hit. Yeah, it was real cheap and it was kind of made things boring, but.
And then you get down to one balloon and it's just survival.
Yeah, you're trying to hide, but they can screen peek. You're like, stop looking at my screen.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I think 64 also introduced the element of screen cheating or screen peeking, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So next on this list that we have footage for is my favorite game probably on the N64, but good old Super Smash Bros. I distinctly remember being at a friend's house at a sleepover and going to Blockbuster and renting this game, not knowing kind of what it was. I had no idea. This was the first time that I think I had seen Kirby was through Super Smash Bros. I was like, who's this pink ball?
Yeah.
What even is this? Who is this guy? But I love the fact that he could suck up people and absorb their powers. And that was amazing. That was just the coolest thing. That this guy is now Mario and he has his Mario ability. But this spawned an entire movement of 4-player competitive fighters that I don't think really any other franchise has mastered except for Smash Bros.
Yeah. PlayStation All-Stars came out, which kind of emulated the style, and it was a decent game, but really, I don't like fighting games, and I guess that's a whole nother debate. Is Smash Bros. A fighting game, or is it a party game, or how do you... But, that's just semantics, I feel like, but...
This game never really made sense to some people, because if you have games like Mario 64 or Mario Kart, people get those. They're like, okay, I'm I'm adventuring around and doing this. But this game, people were so used to Mortal Kombat and other standard fighting games Marvel vs. Capcom, stuff like that, that this game did not make sense to them.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, this is one of those fighting games again where you have to mash a bunch of buttons. And it's like, no, actually, it's all the same inputs. You just have to figure out what each character does, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, and there's no combos really.
Yeah.
There's
some combos depending on what map you're playing. I think if you're playing on the old Hyrule Castle, you can get down in that nasty little.
Sure, but not like the A, B,
No.
you know, like
No.
a certain string of inputs gives you like a Hadouken or
No.
something, you know?
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were referencing like you can't combo in this game.
No, you can totally combo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, you can combo in this one. I'm pretty sure.
Just not like the traditional combos that you see in.
Yeah. You're not inputting a bunch of buttons in a string of commands. Yeah. But no, this game. I mean, this game is one of my favorites on the system, and it's just it's still so fun to play at parties. And you know, I recently had a tournament where I went and showed up and got second place, but it was hella fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time playing this game.
And I think that's super unique too, because a lot of times when a new iteration of a game comes out, you don't want to go back to the old one.
No.
And so this is special because it remains fun, even though they've made so many improvements in the next games.
Yeah, when Melee came out on the GameCube, the next iteration of this, I mean, that's still the most predominantly competitive one that people play, which is kind of annoying. But you know, with each iteration, like Smash Ultimate coming out now, it's been pretty great being able to jump back in and redefine that love for Smash. So, Smash Bros. Love that game, and it'll never get old to me. And then I'm gonna blast through a couple of these guys, but they're all special because of a few things. I don't know why that went black. Sorry for everyone watching. I think it was just in between settings. But Pokemon Stadium. In a time where Pokemon was so big, this was the coolest thing. I mean, it's kind of like our version of Let's Go now.
Yeah.
Where we can realize, like, see Pokemon Red and Blue in 3D. But at the time, all we had was the Game Boy version of Pokemon. And so this was the only way to see and play as 3D Pokemon. So, you know, you could, I don't know if you remember this or not, but they had the Game Boy adapter.
Yeah.
That you could plug into the 64. You could port all of your Pokemon into the game and use those in the game. And then you could also play your Pokemon copy on the system.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So it had to be, you can only do that on Pokemon Stadium. So you couldn't go to this and select any other game. It had to be a Pokemon game on Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it pulled up an emulator and you could play it on there. I didn't play it that much, but there was mode options in there where you could like speed it up or slow it down if you like wanted to speed the game up, make it go faster.
Wow.
So pretty revolutionary for its time. But yeah, I remember countless hours were spent playing Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Yeah, which is pretty funny because there's really not a whole lot of content in the game.
No.
But just the novelty of seeing all your favorite Pokemon in 3D was pretty revolutionary.
And then the announcer, you know, like, oh, what will he do next? I was playing through this and I was like, man, I missed this. And then the other thing that I think we forget to talk about is the minigames.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I mean, in college, that was actually the bigger part of Pokemon Stadium.
For sure.
I mean, great at a party. And I think Pokemon Stadium 2 actually even had better games in it. But yeah, we would alternate between these two a lot at parties and, you know, try to get perfect scores on the chance you get like egg catching game and all kinds of stuff. So, man, such a wonderful game as a child. And still, I think the mini games hold up excellently.
Yeah.
Pokemon Battle's not as great. Not as great.
No, it's pretty.
Yeah, I was playing through this and I was like, these guys have some stupid moves. Like, why would I ever teach my Lapras this? But whatever, it's fine. And I think let's see here. I'm gonna go to the next one. Okay, yeah. So this is the worst footage, and hopefully it's not too bad. But Banjo Kazooie, were you a fan of this game?
Huge fan of this game.
Okay.
This game and Banjo Tooie, big fan.
I never really spent a lot of time playing this, but in college, again, I had a friend, Nick Luttrell, shout out, who I watched him beat this entire game in like one weekend.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, it's essentially it's what was spawned after Mario 64. Everyone's like, ooh, I want to make a 3D platformer, adventure game, and we got Banjo. So Banjo was a less clean version of Mario 64, but it had, I think, some more interesting elements with like the power-ups you could get with Tooie or Kazooie. And there was like, you can turn into different animals and different levels, and that gave you access to different areas. So it was a lot more complex in that matter as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot more things to collect.
Yeah, there was a lot of collectibles.
Yes.
It's definitely a collectathon, but the world itself is incredibly varied, and the side characters I thought were a lot of fun. Mumbo Jumbo.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
him?
You couple. I tried, so I got stuck in this room for a while, and I was like, where in the shit am I supposed to go right now? And I finally remembered how to make him walk on his feet. I knew it was like Z and something else, but I was like, gosh, I haven't done this in so long. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Let's see if I get it. I can't. This is painful to watch. I'm spitting out eggs instead. There we go.
This whole thing, I mean, really just reiterates what a great Smash character Banjo Kazooie would be.
Oh,
like, his
gosh.
moveset is already built in.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't even have to try.
Come on, Nintendo.
Please.
You guys can do this. You already have the partnership with Rare. Again, they're back on your side. You can do it. Another one that I think a lot of people probably skipped over, but still excellent, would be Kirby 64.
Yeah.
And the Crystal Shards.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the best Kirby games that's ever been made.
Mm-hmm.
The art style is really childish, I
Yeah.
guess, but the mechanics of mixing power-ups is just really, really fun. And it strikes a good balance of not being too easy, which
Right.
some Kirby games can kind of suffer from. There's like a little bit of challenge to this, which I like.
Very like painterly almost, where everything looks like it's been painted or something like that. You know, there's some color slapped onto it. But yeah, I think this game gave me like so much curiosity with like combinations. You're like,
Yeah.
oh man, like I didn't realize I could do bomb on bomb. What's that going to do for me? Oh, okay, bomb plus spike, bomb plus ice, bomb plus electric, bomb plus fire. There's so many different combinations in this game, and you have to have specific combinations in certain levels to get every single crystal shard, which was, I guess, the meta game for people that wanted more challenge. You had to
You have to bring specific power-ups to specific areas.
and you had to go from like previous levels to the next level with it sometimes, and like you had to make it all the way through. But yeah, I mean, you'll see right here. I forget I think this is a bow and arrow.
Yeah, it's just cool right off the bat. You have the option to get the bow and arrow, or you get
sword.
the option to get the sword.
I get the sword later, and the sword's excellent. I think the sword was one of the more OP power-ups you could get.
Nothing beat the electric sword.
The electric sword was sweet.
Double-sided lightsaber.
The Darth Maul lightsaber. I'll say also the missiles were very overpowered. The three-tiered like missiles you could charge up because they would seek enemies as well. So you could just stand and then it just hit everything in the screen.
Yeah.
I get that later in this playthrough, but it was pretty butt nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that there's some combinations that are so powerful, but then you have other combinations where you like turn into a refrigerator.
And you can heal yourself.
Yeah, and you can heal yourself, but you can't really do very much damage to anybody else.
It actually hurts people. The food that comes out will still hurt the enemies if it hits
doesn't
them.
have much range though,
No,
right?
not a lot of range. Not a lot of range. Here's my sword. Yeah, you can see. And I love that you can toss the sword too. I remember that if you hold up on it, it'll shoot. You can throw it. Ah, so good. So there you have it. Kirby 64, excellent game. And then I'm gonna skip Wave Race. I might come back to it later, but yeah, Yoshi's Story was another one I wanted to talk about really quick. We were talking about this before the show.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a good game still.
That is shocking to me.
It was interesting to play through, and I think the music is cute and the aesthetic is cute, but I don't know.
That is wild. I was never really a fan of Yoshi's Island, but I thought this game was so much fun.
It was just it didn't really make sense, and I think I just like at a young age I was very confused about what I was even supposed to be doing, because like the objectives, like the checkpoints, were never linear. It was always like the first checkpoint could be above you, and then the next checkpoint could be way to your right.
Yeah.
And this game's hard, man.
It is. Some of the lava levels later on with the skeleton dragons coming out.
Yes, I mean you'll see me in this one. I get friggin' waxed like immediately. There's like these giant piranha plants just standing there, and so yeah, I got beat quick, but because I mean look at this. I started the level with one little petal of life, almost killed myself immediately. And I think like look,
wow,
the way to win the game, and this is so sad too. Like when you die, like it's very morbid. They're carrying you to this castle, you're crying, and it just says game over. You're like, oh gosh.
You got more Yoshis on deck though.
Yeah, I lost a couple. I lost a couple of Yoshis in this playthrough. It was not a good start to my game. So Yoshi's Story, great game, very difficult. Mario Party is another one. So this was the first time that we had seen a board game from Nintendo. I don't think there probably were a few examples, but like really like I thought it was weird at first when we rented it from Blockbuster. I was like, board game
on the TV.
On the TV, this isn't that cool. But the mini games again is where this. I mean, really the 64. I think that's the whole story of the 64 is the multiplayer just setup that you have.
Yep.
where you can have people over, you can play some great mini games, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to play the full game. Like every single game that had mini games had the option just to do that alone.
Yeah, and if someone had an N64 and didn't have 4 controllers, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what? Come on, man, I'm not coming to your house.
It's like, wait, they come with less than 4?
I got to bring my controllers over? Yeah. This is ridiculous. But what's interesting is Mario's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think 5, maybe 6. No, 6 wasn't that great. I think 5 was the last good one. That was so 4 and 5 were on GameCube. But 1, 2, and 3 on the 64, specifically 2 and 3, they added a lot of excellent quality of life things where you could save your game in the middle of it. You could increase text speed. You could change the difficulty of the computers. You could alter the amount of turns it would take. Some of those assets, or some of those abilities, don't exist in later Mario Party games, where they took that stuff out. Like I remember on the Wii U one, you were very restricted to what you were actually able to set the game up like.
Yeah, and there wasn't even independent movement between characters.
You could set bonus stars or no bonus stars, and I'm pretty sure the most recent Mario you have to have bonus stars. I think it requires that you have the bonus stars.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, this game was just so great because of how random it was, and I just remember so many nights of people just getting so pissed because they got Mario Partied.
Yeah,
you could be happily skirting around in first place and then immediately get screwed over by some random just luck thing.
Yeah, which I feel like they did tone that down in the newest one, which is unfortunate. I kind of want to get pissed off in this game, but there's the worst that can happen to you is you get 1 star stolen or you get 10 coins taken away from you.
Well, I think in this game too, it's a lot of it is if you are really good, there's a high chance you're going to win the game. But you have to really almost win every single game. And there's some ones that are all chance, but I mean, that's every board game almost, where there is a lot of luck or chance to a game of you winning.
Yeah.
So I think this game nailed that perfectly, and you'll notice this one has the weird letter boxing around the outside.
Yeah.
Every game has a different aspect ratio when I was recording too. It was kind of weird.
But no, I with what you're saying, I really do appreciate that about Mario Party, the fact that it is kind of an equalizer. The fact that there is a healthy portion of luck. It's you can dominate the mini games but still come up short because of some random BS that happens.
Or at the very end, the guy lands on the thing that lets you trade all of your stars. So he has 1 and you have 4, and he can trade all of your and it's just well, that sucks. I win because of a lucky landing. But yeah, this game great at parties still. Honestly, I find myself wanting to go back often to the 64 versions of Mario Party because the games are all so good for it.
Yeah, and just depending if people are willing to commit to 45 minutes or even longer, which is kind of tough sometimes.
It is a night you'll have to plan, especially now that we're adults and have more responsibilities.
Yeah, and what's nice about Smash or Mario Kart is you can slip away for 15 minutes and play a couple quick rounds, but with Mario Party you really got to commit to sticking it through because you can't quit halfway through.
We're here and we're hanging out and we're going to hopefully have fun. Yeah. And the last game I want to talk about really quick, and this is just obviously these are all ones that I had footage for, but again, this is the Mario Tennis. So we had a slew of sports titles that came out both on the Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and N64. But Mario Tennis was an excellent title in terms of competitive gameplay. It was very, very simple. There wasn't much to it. Developed by Camelot, actually. But it allowed you to sync up with 4 people again. You could do doubles, and it had a decent story mode that you could play through and make your own characters and stuff like that. But really, this game was awesome, just one-on-one, playing somebody else, deathmatch, just to see if they were better than you.
And this is the game that Waluigi came on the scene, right?
That is right. Yeah, for a little trivia for you guys, this is where Waluigi originated from. So kind of sad that we still don't have him in Smash. But yeah, Waluigi actually was a Camelot created character because they needed a alternate to Luigi. And that's it. That was the only thing. Dude, you're about to see me get destroyed by Boo here. He was playing some hard net game. So that is a rundown of just a few of the games that I remember from the N64. But is there anything else that you wanted to run through really quick? Any notable?
I would want to give a huge shout out to Shadow of the Empire, Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
that game was so much fun. It was half ship levels and half on foot levels.
Yeah.
Did you ever play that?
So I played I remember the on foot stuff, going around the bases.
Yeah, and you could fly around with a jetpack and get different weapons, and So I played that over. I never played GoldenEye, but I played a lot of.
Did that have 4-player
It did not.
versus?
I don't think so.
Oh, see, that's why I didn't play it.
I know, but Pod Racer did.
Ooh, Pod Racer, man, good shout out there too.
Yeah.
So Pod Racer was those one, like, I mean, that was the height of Star Wars Episode 1 just fandom. Everyone was so hyped up on that.
Yeah.
And so that game came out, I was like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be so fun. And I think I remember enjoying it.
I think I did too. Yeah.
But
Going back to it is a nightmare.
It is, and maybe it's because like these CRTs, this is true actually. On the older TVs, the games look way better because they were designed for 480 output. If you try to upscale it to 720 or 1080, it looks really bad, which is why a lot of this, gameplay footage is not the best looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried playing it on like a newer TV, and it's impossible to see what's going on, except for the first level. The first level is the only one that you can actually tell what's going on because it's wide open.
Yeah, is that the desert one?
It's the one actually from the movie. Yeah. So, gosh, so many good racing games on there. Yeah, shout out to Glover.
Yeah.
Weird game. Gex, that was a cool one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, that I wasn't allowed to keep because it was M-rated, so I had to give that to somebody else.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, very sad day. Mortal Kombat, same situation.
Back to Star Wars is Rogue Squadron. It was really
excellent
good.
game. Yep. Excellent game. Rogue Squadron was so good.
Wasn't there a cheat code you could like fly a Buick or something?
I'm sure
there was some kind of like car cheat code.
Dang, I wish I had the footage for that. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much. There's so many good little memories tucked into the 64. There weren't a lot of great games for the 64, but the ones that were there were excellent and memorable, and still, like I said, hold up to this day because of just the care and the aspect of like multiplayer that went into a lot of it, you know.
Yeah, and what really surprises me too is the fact that Nintendo and the other developers got so many firsts right. Like the first 3D Zelda, the first 3D Mario. To pull that off is just very, very impressive. Like doing something that has never been done before and doing a great franchise justice is very impressive.
And so I guess with that, I wanted to talk briefly, and I should have ran through this first because I think it tells the story of the 64 even better. But have you heard of the 64 DD?
Yeah, it was kind of the successor to the N64.
Sort of. It was and it was initially how the 64 was pitched. It was announced in 1995 before the N64 came out in 96. Like the entire plan was to launch the 64 with a disc, the disc drive system.
Okay.
So it would attach to the bottom of the N64.
Yep.
You could put a disc in it, and you could do a cartridge load on top. And the idea was you were going to get more processing power and the ability to load these higher res games and make it just a better overall graphical experience. But, however, it got delayed and actually came out in 98. So
way too late.
So way later and only through very limited means. So I have some of these written down, but the only way to actually get the 64 DD was through a mail order service where you had to like order one from like a magazine or something like that.
Okay.
Or if you signed up for RandNet, which was a disk-based internet browsing platform that you could access on the 64.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Yes.
Because the 64 had a bunch of peripherals too. Like it had a keyboard, it had a mouse, and a bunch of other things you could connect to it. Because I think Nintendo at the time was thinking this is going to be, the future. This is like everyone's.
This is the internet.
This is it, the internet. So they were ahead of their time in certain respects, but it was so poorly executed that it just died. No one had it. There were no games really for it. I think there was like 10 games that were made for it, and that was it. Because what happened is the technology took so long to figure out with the disc and the cart system that they eventually just figured out how to fit all the data onto the cartridges, and they just left it like that.
Oh, wow.
So there was no real disc drive games.
And so I guess that was them trying to compete with Sega and Sony. And
Yep, because everyone's going discs.
Because the Dreamcast kind of gets the first credits of online gaming, right, for a console.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is weird that Sega used to be like kind of a forerunner in the race.
Yeah, the Dreamcast could do it too. They can get online. But yeah, so I'm gonna run through some facts here. So the RandNet was was going to let users of the former online service access the members-only information exchange page as well as the internet. Once logged on to the service, players could choose from the following options: editing tools, where you could create custom avatars to interact with other users; information exchange, where you could chat in a message board or share email with other users; community, where you could swap messages with the game programmers and producers; and internet surfing. You could surf the internet with the custom web browser, formatted for viewing on a television set. And that was all you could do with it.
Wow. Hey, swapping email sounds pretty cool.
Sounds
though.
pretty sick. They had originally planned a battle mode where you could play online against other players.
Okay.
Didn't come out. An observation mode where you could watch other players' game sessions. So pretty ahead of their time in terms of streaming and like what that could have been.
They're like, no, nobody's ever going to watch.
Gosh.
Nobody's ever going to want to watch someone play a video game.
Isn't that nuts, though? Like, they were thinking about that in
Streams.
95.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, internet. People need to watch other people play this game online. How can we do this?
Yeah.
Beta test modes. So, like, developers could put out things they were working on, like, in beta, and let people play test levels, essentially, of the games that they haven't put out fully yet. A digital magazine that would let you check online sports scores, weather, and news. Music distribution, where you could listen to music, some of which was yet to be released in stores.
So they didn't do any of this whatsoever.
No. Postcards, where Mario Artist was the intended use, and they would allow you to design and print the postcards to be sent via postal mail.
Wow.
And then lastly, e-commerce, online shopping. So they're trying to think of like an online store.
So they were trying to do Spotify, iTunes, Reddit, Google,
Twitch.
Twitch.
Way ahead of everything else. And they didn't do it.
They didn't do
Isn't
it.
that so sad?
Yeah.
Like, but they were so ahead of their time.
Yeah.
But so I did mention some games came out for it. So you had F-Zero that used the disk drive system. SimCity 64.
Whoa.
Doshin the Giant, which you've probably seen like images of, like big yellow, just like very generic looking guy. It looks like it's from like Earthbound. You might see it in like Earthbound 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but he shows up in Smash. You'll see him in Smash
Yeah,
as a trophy.
Yeah.
Mario Artist communication disc, which would allow you to do like paint and a bunch of those other things inside of there. And then Japan Pro Golf Tour. There was more than that, but like I think they were all underneath the Mario Artist communication thing. Like there was a couple of games or like things you could do underneath that, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, only 20,000 DDs were sold.
Wow.
A little bit over 20,000.
So are they like a really rare collectible now?
Yes. And even more rare is the developer kit that is like this blue system that allowed you to play only developer games, essentially. Like dev kits that would send out, essentially for the 64 DD only.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, though, and this is like what I was saying, a lot of the games were built for the 64 DD initially. Like Zelda Ocarina of Time was built for the 64 DD. But then they realized, I think
their cartridges got better.
So I think this is from, I forget which website. I think it's this Wikipedia was telling us this, but the limited storage available on cartridges compared to CDs was a deal breaker for many developers, especially Square Enix, then Squaresoft, a loyal Nintendo developer that jumped ship and opted to create their Final Fantasy games and other titles on the PlayStation.
Wow.
So the storage on the cartridges was slow, but or was limited, but it was faster. So if you remember PlayStation, originally the load times were horrendous.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You had to wait forever for it to load the game, but you could store more data on them. And so, Square Enix and a lot of those developers like Legend of Dragoon, like I remember those being like 4-disc games. I can't imagine how many cartridges those would have been on the 64. But it's just amazing what could have been with the 64. I mean,
yeah.
So they didn't get the DD right, but they did get a few things right that I want to mention really quick. So, I mean, again, the joystick. It was the first time that we had a joystick on a controller.
Yep.
And then shortly after that, the DualShock figured out, hey, we can make this better.
Yeah, a lot better.
But still, I mean, we had a joystick for the first time. Camera or 3D camera controls was a huge deal. Rumble. Remember that? You had to like stick the rumble pack up underneath the controller.
Oh yeah.
Get that to work.
That was a game changer too.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing.
Getting feedback from the
Yeah.
game. Oh, I got hit, and only a few games used it.
Yeah.
But
But now you can't imagine a controller without rumble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so second thought, but like you had to literally add it to your controller if you wanted rumble, because they couldn't fit the motor parts inside.
Yeah, and it was like an added bonus.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, this game rumbles.
And it had to have its own. It had to have its own battery pack too, for it to actually work.
Yep.
Which is
I
crazy.
remember that.
And
it
then,
wasn't even like Smash Bros. Didn't have it, did it?
I mean, no, I don't know which games did have it. I honestly can't remember.
It was very limited though, I think.
Yeah, I can look this up really quick. But I mean, like the D-pad, just like the memory card that would plug into the controller as well. That was kind of revolutionary. Didn't get used after that, but that was kind of cool. And they kind of carried over assets from the Super Nintendo controller. Like you still had the L and R buttons.
Yep.
The Z trigger was new, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a good addition.
But but like I feel like I wonder what the initial reception was when people played that, when they saw a 3-pronged controller. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
How is a person supposed to hold this? Okay, so actually a decent amount had the Rumble Pack functionality.
Okay.
A lot of games. I'm not going to read these off because there's so many of them, but there's a lot of games on here.
That's cool.
I mean, notable titles: Mario Party. I saw that in there really quick. Donkey Kong 64. I saw Legend of Zelda 007 used it. So, I mean, probably most of the mainline Nintendo games used it. I'm sure that was like a requirement that it had to have Rumble functionality. But I think I remember that being on the box as a selling point. It has Rumble Pack, functionality or something like that.
It's funny you were talking about what people thought when they first saw the controllers. Have you ever seen somebody pick up the controller and they hold it in the wide grip, but then they're using the joystick?
Oh, yeah. It's real weird.
It's just so funny that they made a controller that
confuse people on how to hold it.
Yeah, because that's a pretty common thing. Like
I've seen people that just hold the joystick like this. They don't. They have their hand on top of the actual controller and they're trying to move it.
Yeah,
they don't even like. And people do that to this day. But yeah, what you're talking about, they stick their thumb over top of it like this.
Yeah, so uncomfortable.
And certain games made you switch back and forth between the wide grip or the inside grip.
Yep.
So like Pokemon Stadium specifically is the one I remember where it made you navigate menus with the D-pad only and the A and B buttons.
But then you're playing a game.
But then you play a game and it makes you use a joystick to like flick the Ekans out or like whatever. And I was like, why? I was like, man, this is crazy. Like having to like switch between. They should have like. They could have. There's may have been an opportunity to like do a 3-person or a 2-person mini game where like one person has to man the joystick, other person has to hold the D-pad, and then like
that sounds familiar. I think some game did something like that.
There had to have been, I'm sure. But one thing about the controller, or really the 64, got wrong was the analog stick too. The analog stick was plastic.
Yep.
And so over time, just playing Mario Party or games that were heavy on the joysticks, you would break them, or they would just be so shot from the spring. Like the spring would be so shot that it wouldn't even respond.
Yeah. And now when you pick up a controller, you just give it a little jiggle, and
Yeah, you're like, I don't want this one. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna lose this game.
You can have that one. Yeah.
You go through each controller and see which one has the least amount of jiggle.
The least jiggle. Yeah, you can have that one. I don't want that one. Yeah, the guy that lost always got the crappiest controller. Yeah. It's like, you can have this one.
Guess this was before Mad Catz came out.
Oh gosh, no. I had some Mad Catz controllers or some third-party ones that were pretty bad. Yeah. Like the two sides were really short and the middle was super long. Oh, it's just so gross. So that's everything about the 64. But before we jump into the last segment, do you have any favorite memories just growing up of the 64 that you want to recount?
I do want to say one of the best memories that I have of the 64 was actually the day that I got it, because it was Christmas.
Sorry.
I don't know. I can't remember which year. I need to ask my parents, but they took apart the N64 and they hid each piece of it. So like the power cord was in one place.
Okay, I thought you meant they took apart, like unscrewed it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, then they scattered it out in the yard, and I had to figure it out.
Figure out how to put it back together, you idiots. Holy, that's awesome though. So
and then it was like a scavenger hunt on Christmas morning, and so like we read these rhyming clues and like ran to the dryer and opened up the dryer, and there was like a power cord there.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we like had an idea, or we're like, what is this power cord? And then there was another clue, and we run and we get like the AV cable or something and get excited about that.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yeah, and then I think the last thing was like a box of games, and it had like, all the grades.
Gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I mean that just really ended up being one of the best Christmases ever.
Oh,
And yeah, that's probably my best memory.
I think for me, and this is kind of weird, but it just sticks in my head because I think it's just the first time I think I had even seen it. So we were in Myrtle Beach randomly, and my uncle used to have a beach house down there, and so we were staying with him, and we were weren't like that close with him, so it was just weird. I don't know, it was just weird that we were down there. But my cousin, who I also wasn't close with, brought his 64, and he only had Mario 64. So I watched him play it for a little bit, and I had never seen it before, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What is this?" Like, this is Mario. And as soon as he left to go outside to go to play at the beach, you better believe that immediately I turned that 64 back on, and I was just like, I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I remember being inside for hours, like while like my family and people were just outside. I'm sure people were inside when I was there too, but like I just remember like distinctly just being at the beach but playing Mario 64 inside. I was like, this is weird that I'm inside right now, but this is amazing.
I don't care.
I can't pass this up because I didn't have one at the time. So it was just like, this is incredible. And I think that's what really started like this whole, I mean, it's probably part of the reason why I'm still into video games today, but I was just like so blown away by that, being able to spend time by myself playing it, that I was like, I got back and I was like, I got to find a 64. I have to buy a Nintendo 64 right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a first impression to 3D Mario, 3D Nintendo.
And that's why they shipped all of them with the 64, I'm sure, because they're like, people see this and they're gonna know like, holy crap, I gotta buy that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably my most memorable one. That and just like living in the apartments after I had my 64 and going to Blockbuster with my brothers and like renting games. We ended up keeping a copy of Gauntlet Legends because we never returned it.
And then they went out of business.
Yeah, we had it for so long that they just said, hey, you guys have paid for it at this point, so you can just keep the game. I'm like, okay, cool.
Nice.
But I just remember like just going there and trying to pick the best game and like, oh man, do you think we can beat this in 7 days or whatever the time
it was?
was.
7 days.
So like, we would choose wisely, and sometimes we'd like re-rent a game so we could keep playing it. But yeah, Gauntlet was one we just kept playing over and over and over again with all the cheat codes and stuff, and just so many good memories.
Yeah,
so many memories. All right, well, the last segment on here is kind of a fun one, and some of these might be really easy, but I'm going to try and quiz you on music trivia. So Nintendo is known for having excellent soundtracks for their games. And so I found a wonderful YouTube playlist that has games on it, helpfully listed out by time code. So I can just pick one, and hopefully it doesn't have the game's title in the intro. But I'm gonna go through these and we're just gonna tally it up to see how many you get right, and how many you get wrong. We're gonna try and do like maybe we'll see how much fun we're having with it. So I'm gonna start you off. Easy.
All right.
Okay. Hopefully this works. Hopefully y'all can hear it in your end too.
I don't know, man. Is this Mario?
Can you name that game?
I think that is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
It is Legend of Zelda.
And is that just called the main theme, or?
Well, it's
or is it Hyrule Field?
It is. It's Termina Field. So it's actually Majora's Mask. That wasn't. No, you're not an idiot. That was a hard one because I realized after I clicked on it that was Majora's Mask. I'm like, I don't know these songs as well. But you knew it was Zelda.
Yeah. It's
almost the same exact song. So, and it was the field. You were correct. So, well done. All right, this one's pretty easy, and you might have already heard it before. So, if you miss this one, you're a dumb idiot. Ooh, it's kind of cutting out a little bit. Hopefully, it's not.
That sound quality.
That's so bad. Let's see.
It sounds like it's underwater.
Yeah. Let's see if I fixed it by moving it around. Can you guess that one?
I think that's Yoshi's Story.
Well done, Matt. Well done. Oh, that was bad. That sounded horrible.
Right. I'm pretty sure that song's in Smash though, so I need to make sure that's turned up on my options.
Let's hope that this comes through the right way again. Let's see what this one sounds like. I unplugged it and changed it. Let's see. Oh. Oh, it sounds so bad.
That's definitely Kirby 64.
That is correct. Oh man, sorry for any listeners if that sounds that bad.
Yeah, hopefully it sounds better in the recording.
It sounded good in the first one.
It did, yeah.
I didn't hear any problems.
It's a little bit warbly.
It could be something with our headphones. But we're going to just keep blasting through this. And it's just going to sound so bad.
Well, it's even more impressive that I can guess.
Yeah, if you can guess these when they sound so bad, it's impressive. All right, let's see here. What's another good one for you? Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. This is a fun one. Is that coming on my laptop?
I hear it in the headphones.
Oh.
Sounds like Mario Kart.
It is Mario Kart, but which race? Probably the most well-known one.
Rainbow Road?
That is correct.
Nice.
Well done, Matt. Well freaking done.
That's an epic song.
That sounded a lot better there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was really worried. Okay.
It sounded like a finale, so it seemed like
well done. Okay, how about this one? Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Sounds bad again.
We got trouble.
Why does it like works for one and it's like, no, I'm done. I'm tuckered out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see if
I couldn't tell what that was.
All right, how about this one?
I don't know. Was that Banjo Kazooie or something?
It is Banjo Kazooie.
Nuh-uh. Okay, I know this.
Very well done. Very well done. Okay, let's see what else we can get on here without it sounding super bad. I'm going to give you a harder one.
All right.
Hopefully it sounds good. Nope.
It sounds bad.
Why does it do that, dude? This is crazy. Okay, I'm going to refresh it and see if I can fix it. That sounds excellent.
That does, yeah.
But everything else sounds super bad. That's so funny. I apologize to all the audience people out there listening.
Oh, it's Zelda. That's easy, man.
All right, but where?
Oh, it's the Lost Woods.
Well done. Well done. Let's see here.
It's a Saria song, isn't it?
Lost Woods, yeah. Lost Woods, Saria song. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I can't get that Yoshi story song out of my head. Ooh, wow. Can you guess what that is? Can you guess what that is? Oh, it's so bad. All right, did you get it?
No, I have no clue.
Oh, come on, man. You don't know what that is? That would be 007.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm going to try one more in here, and if it sounds real bad, we're just going to call this a day. Oh, my gosh. Oh, mamma mia.
I mean, all things considered, this has been smooth sailing. So
yeah, hey, I'll take it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I guess like just we broke the output to where it doesn't want to come out.
Oh man,
it's going in. There's a lot of moving parts on this podcast.
Yeah.
Recognize that one?
Oh man. Oh gosh. Star Fox?
No.
Wave Race.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I give up.
Super Smash Bros.
Oh.
The opening battle scene.
Oh wow. I guess I didn't recognize it without the, all the intro sound effects.
Yeah, or the really awesome just chiptune nightmare that we're listening to right now. Oh, okay. I'm trying to find some ones that are a little bit easier, because some of these I played, but I was like, there's no way I could pick the music out of them. I'm sure some people could. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Ooh, this is a good one.
Is that Donkey Kong? Wave Race?
Ooh, It's a water level.
I know. That's why I keep guessing water things. 64, Mario? 64?
Yes, sir.
The water level?
Yes, sir.
That makes sense.
Anytime you're in a water level. Well, yeah, and then like later it's Dire Dire Dogs, which is an excellent song. All right, I'm going to give you one last one. A really hard one.
All right.
That you're never going to guess.
I don't know.
You might. That's not fun. That's not fun. I'm trying to give you a harder one here. Let's see. Let's see. Well, you've already guessed this one a couple times. Let's see if you can get it.
That's Wave Race.
That is Wave Race. Well done.
I'm going to go on record and say this. Best jet ski video game of all time.
It's good.
Name a better jet ski video game.
I'll wait.
I'll wait.
Can you guess this one?
Oh, man, that sounds so familiar. Well, this is a good song, though.
Mm-hmm. You can hear the actual theme song, and it's a famous one.
This has got to be GoldenEye.
It is GoldenEye.
Yeah,
without the terrible distortion we heard earlier. I'm like halfway holding this chord in to make it work, which is hilarious. Well, and I'm going to give you one more that I wouldn't probably get, but you might if you played this game a lot.
Oh, it's Zelda.
Mm-mm.
No? Smash? What? Oh, this is Star Fox.
This is Star
totally
Fox.
Star Fox.
Well done.
No, I knew that.
I would never get that.
I think that song's in Smash Bros. Too, though. I think it's like it might be on, it's probably one of the song options for the Lilat level or something.
Yeah, it's Star Wolf's theme. Star Wolf's theme, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I should have got that faster.
Ooh, this is a fun one here. How about this one? Hold on, wait. Well, this one, if you can guess this, it's pretty impressive.
F-Zero.
Oh, snap.
I know that. I know
Holy
that song.
smokes.
Dude, listen to those synthesizers and guitars, man.
That rock guitar. I was trying to play... Oh, it's not the game I was thinking I was going to play. The time codes are wrong. They lied to me. There's so many random games in this list that I just don't understand how anyone could ever get this.
Yeah, F-Zero music's hilarious.
It's just, butt rock. Yeah. Oh, this is a weird one. I loved this game, but you might not have.
This is dark.
It is dark.
It's heavy.
It kind of sounds like an epic,
It does.
We're out in space.
Space. Out in space. Epic.
Four-player.
Split-screen
shooter. Little alien ants in it and stuff like that.
Alien ants.
Listen to that, man. Yeah.
I like this.
Uh-huh. Jet Force Gemini.
I never played that.
You never played that game?
No.
Oh, man. It was like a space version of GoldenEye 007.
Oh, really?
So it was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, I've never played that in my entire life.
Come on, man.
Never would have got that.
Come on, man. This one's actually pretty cool. And this will be the last one we do, just because it is. Well, actually, we'll do two. We'll do two more, because there's one that I want to end on. Actually, you'll probably get this one also.
Is that those, like...
Yeah, those little scratch.
The worst instrument of all time. Donkey Kong?
Got a tropical theme to it. You're on the right track. It is Donkey Kong, or a Kong property.
Diddy Kong Racing.
That is correct.
I didn't play a ton of that. I was always a Mario Kart guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of had, like...
Oh, hand us some.
Personal issues with Diddy Kong Racing. Or I was like, this game's a ripoff
Yeah.
of Mario Kart.
I was the same way. I was like, this isn't as good.
Yeah.
It's not as good. But it was
Wasn't
kind of...
Crash Team Racing also on the 64?
No.
No?
Only on the PlayStation.
Oh.
Come on, dude. Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
They're trying to get in that kart racer game and compete.
Yeah.
And but actually, the new one is coming out, I think, on Switch.
That's surprising.
The remaster, which is pretty dope. This one you probably won't guess because I don't recognize this. This is not the recognized theme, but late N64 game that was excellent. This is a battle theme.
I thought it sounded like Dr. Mario or something.
It is Mario.
Okay. Mario Kart?
It is Paper Mario.
Ah.
Koopa Bros battle theme.
Great game.
I love that game. So good. And then last, if you can get this one, you're a N64 genius.
Oh, no. You wanted to end on this one?
Yeah, just because it's good.
It's the best song.
It's so good.
This actually just brought back a memory of when we were kids. We used to play this song, and we would dance to this song like crazy. Like me, my brother, my dad, my sister.
It's good stuff.
We would just go crazy in the living room to this song.
So much salsa dancing going on in this one.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Zelda, that's the Gerudo theme, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Gerudo Valley.
So
God,
good.
They got some good footage on here too, man. So good. So good. So excellent.
Oh, man, but we would just listen to that for hours and just dance. It was so
Years. Well, Matt, you did good, man. I think you got almost all those correct. There was like 2 or 3, and mainly because the audio problems we had in the beginning were so bad.
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah. I did better than I thought I would.
You did excellent.
It's all just like buried in there.
You hear the song. That's
Yeah.
the crazy part. You recognize it. You're like, I know this. I've heard this.
And then you just have a feeling
Yeah.
of like, I'm in space right now, or I'm racing.
But it's not like the sound effects also go hand in hand with the music. That's the thing I've noticed. I was like, man, the Smash Bros. Song I recognize, but like not without like the menu music changing back and forward and stuff like that. So, well, there you have it, guys. That was a full blowout for episode 64 of the Nintendo 64. I think it was due. It's the last time we're going to talk about 64 ever. So don't even bring it back up again.
It's banned from the show.
But I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fun recording it and talking about these things and getting the footage up for it. It was definitely a lot of work, so I probably won't do it as extensively as this one. But
I think you did it justice.
Yeah, we did it justice.
This was a tribute.
We can put it to rest now. Put it back in the closet.
Bury it out back.
Yeah. Goodbye, Nintendo 64. But yeah, unfortunately, guys, that is the end of our podcast. Remember, BitCast is a weekly podcast, sort of, that covers most things video games and pop culture. Matt, thanks so much for being on the show.
I had a blast.
This was a great time. Be sure to go to bitbloggers.com to see all of our most recent content and follow us on Facebook or Instagram to see any more recent posts and projects that we have coming up. Send emails or topic suggestions or any sort of just reviews that you guys want to give us or anything you want to talk about specifically to bitcast@bitbloggers.com. I'd love to talk to you there. And remember, until next time, this has been BitCast. Thanks for tuning in to talk about some stuff. Gosh, I was like holding this really awkwardly so it wouldn't make a weird noise.